Fall is all about cozy comforts, and with Hero Bread, you can enjoy all your favorites and still hit your health goals. From breakfast bagels and meal prepped enchiladas to mouth-watering burgers and cheesy noodles. You won't believe Hero Bread's options have 0 to 5 grams net carbs and are high fiber from the taste and texture. And right now, Hero Bread is offering 10% off your order. Go to hero.co and use code FALL25 at checkout. That's FALL25 at HERO.co. All figures are per serving of Hero Bread. Contains 2 to 18 grams of fat per serving. See the product nutrition panels on hero.co for more information.
Hey everybody, I'm Mikey Anderson, and this is Fantasy Avenue, where each week we talk about everything you need to know in the world of fantasy football. Hello, another week of Fantasy Avenue right here. Let's go. Now, it might seem a little weird, but yeah, I released an episode 2 days ago, Saturday. It is now Monday when I'm recording this episode. It's weird for me, it's probably weird for you. We just had Fantasy Avenue. We need the listens to get up. Going down in the listens a little bit the past couple of weeks. You know, I was peaking. You know, I had a consistent numbers. It's going down a little bit, can't lie. I don't want to reveal my numbers quite yet to the public. But I'm just going to say, we got to get the numbers up. And so I'm thinking, what better way to get the numbers up than to bring some consistency back into the picture. So that's why we got this Monday episode back in the plan. Something that we've been struggling with in terms of last week not being able to get the Monday episode. But we got it today. We have some big news. It was a big NFL week. It seems weird that I just did a podcast just 2 days ago. But we had NFL games between the two episodes. So we're going to get right into that. It was a good week for me. It was a good week of NFL football. Predictions on point. Where I'm going to go through the high points of the league and my waiver selections from last week and this week, and then we'll be out. I've been busy. You know, what can I say? I wanted to get some people on the podcast. I want to get a couple members that we've already talked about before, you know, for a draft episode and just an overall episode, but it's been a busy week. I had to just come in here real quick. We're going to hopefully have a short podcast today, right around 20 minutes. I know that's a sweet spot for all you busy people with your busy little lives. I know you do. I know you have a lot of stuff going on, so I want to help you with that by limiting this podcast. I think that the perfect amount of time, as you know, you might just listen to it while you're doing a 20-minute chore, right, or a 20-minute car ride. Nobody's got a 40-minute chore to do, and if you're doing it, you're probably not feeling too good. You probably don't want to listen to my voice while you're doing it. Your morale is probably at an all-time low, similar to Raiders fans right now. Yep, I said it, and so you don't want to listen to me just blabble the whole time you're trying to get through life. But if you're just have a casual little chore to do, casual little thing to do in your life, maybe you're just trying to relax. Well, hey, relax with some homework and relax with a little bit of Fantasy Avenue. So let's hop right in. Big week of NFL football. My Broncos, yeah, let's ride. Holy crap. We did it. We've won a game for the second time this season. It's incredible. A game against the Packers that we didn't necessarily dominate, but we won from start to finish with good defense, with offense when we needed it. There were some lucky scores on there on the Green Bay part. Can't lie to you. Had a couple lucky touchdowns. Pat Surtain, that was his pick. I don't know why the NFL. What's going on with the NFL? That rule makes no sense. The interception rule, where if the offense and defense of player grab at the same time, the offense wins. Yes, I understand that. But what happened in the situation was Romeo Doubs, Packers receiver, and Pat Surtain, best corner in the NFL, by the way, Broncos cornerback, jumped in the air. Both caught it basically at the same time, but Pat Surtain's feet hit the ground way first. He jumped up at an angle and kind of toe dragged his feet through the end zone. Meanwhile, Romeo Doubs twisted midair and fell on top of him. But according to rules, Pat Surtain had possession of the ball 2 feet down before Doubs. So I get the tie, blah, blah, blah. 2 feet down, that's possession. That is the NFL rule for possession. Why is it going to the offense if the offensive player has possession, technically, after the defensive player? It's not just some weird rule. I mean, that is NFL football. It is technicalities and weird stuff. I don't know. Seems a little weird to me, but we won anyway. Let's freaking go. Raiders fans, I already mentioned to you. How are you going to lose to a D2 product? I mean, I could walk down the road and find a couple D2 products probably. Probably go to the lumber yard and find a D2 linebacker, and you lost to a D2 quarterback by 20 points. So, hey, Tough world to be a Raiders fan. I know the Raiders beat the Broncos, but come the next game, we got them. Maybe. We maybe got them. I don't know, actually, if we're going to get them, but we're going to try. Let me tell you what. I had a good week of NFL games. Not every game is finished. I'm going to need some high scores. I'm going to need some real high scores from a couple of my players on the Vikings here. Let's go, Kirk Cousins. Let's go, T.J. Hockenson. Let's score some points here. But it was a good week. Excluding a couple leagues that one of the leagues that was auto-drafted for me, and then the league that I'll talk about hopefully next week with Colden, the Spin the Wheel League, excluding those weeks, yeah, I went 4-0. Yeah, I'm kind of a baller. I'm technically in 6 leagues, 4 kind of real wins and 2 off on the ESPN app, which ESPN move over. It's my time. The ESPN app, they're more casual leagues, so I'm not really factoring them in. But in the leagues that I care about, yeah, 4-0. 4-0 what? What do you got to say to me? You got to say nothing to me because I'm 4-0 for these weeks of games. Travis Kelce, huge carry. Travis Kelce on National Tight Ends Day, which, I mean, sounds a little weird when you say Tight Ends Day, National Tight Ends Day. You wouldn't think it's football themed now, would you? But it is. And he balled on this day. He really did. He played well. I'm pretty sure it was a bit of a weirdly low-scoring week in terms of no one really exploded. But I'm pretty sure his 36 points, which I mean is an explosion. You know, maybe not a TNT level of explosion, maybe more of a dynamite level of explosion. His 36 points is still an explosion, and he did that, and he won me some leagues, especially my Dynasty League. My Dynasty League, which is the most important league for me. It's the most fun. I highly suggest Dynasty Leagues. It's so cool. You feel like an NFL manager. I sound like a little nerd right now. I'm being like, wait, it's so cool. Dude, it is. It's hype. I feel like, oh, man, back in the day, you know, I was probably, what, 2017. That was six years ago. Do some high-level calculus math. Yeah, I was 11. I would come downstairs on a fall Saturday morning, right? Sit down with a bowl of Honey Nut Cheerios. Turn on Madden 17. Go to the My Team I created with Demaryius Thomas, Broncos legend, rest in peace. Broncos legend. I didn't even need anybody else. I had Cam Newton. I remember I was on the Panthers. Made a Panthers My Team. Panthers, Cam Newton, Demaryius Thomas, a stacked defense. And I probably played 4 or 5 seasons without getting bored of winning every game like 100-0. I played on rookie mode. It was that kind of vibe this week. Yeah, so that's what a Dynasty League does for you, right? You feel like a Madden manager with a Dynasty League. It's sick, and I got carried. I want that trade. You know, I did talk about it on Saturday, and it's now Monday, so it hasn't had a lot of time. But my boy, let me pull you up. I don't know if there's almost zero chance you listen to my podcast because I don't even know who you are. But let me see what your name. Scott's Tots. Yeah, get on your freaking phone and trade me Austin Eckler, dude. You just ghosted me right when I wanted to trade with you. And then I beat you in fantasy this week, bro. Come on. The least you can do is trade with me after I beat you in fantasy. I mean, hey, good game. Austin Eckler put up 5 points for you. Why don't you trade him away now? It seems like this is the perfect time to trade him away. I still need a running back. The running back that I'm going to replace with Austin Eckler got 0.9 points. Jeff Wilson Jr., I mean, you didn't do anything for me. Get the Miami backfield. If it's not... Devin Achane is the head of the snake right there. He is the number one play. The next play in the Dolphins' backfield is Raheem Mostert. Anyone else in the backfield is a no play. So you have those two, and then you have everybody else does not do it for me. Okay, so I want to make that clear right now. Those are the guys that you're going to want on your team. Okay, those are the guys that you want to look for. Anybody else is not really going to be a factor in that backfield. Right now, I'm actually adding Damari Marco, and I'm dropping Salvin Ahmed. Yeah, he's a Dolphins running back. I don't want him. Amari Marco put up an okay 8 points, which is, wow, not something to write home about. But, hey, 8 is better than 0.8, right? If I need consistency at the running back spot, if that's all I'm asking for, then what the frick, you know? Then I'll ask for it. That's really why I need the Austin Eckler trade. So that's kind of the NFL weekend. Honestly, it was a good weekend. Crazy Eagles game. Refs, are you on the Eagles or are you on a team? Because it seems like you're maybe on the Eagles. They're referees. Not totally sure. Fireworks in Kansas City, as usual. The Baltimore's defense shut down the Detroit Lions. They're going to be an inconsistent team this year, I fear. I want the Lions to win as much as the next guy. Believe me. I mean, I root for them as much as I root for anyone, really. Just not, I don't care really. I mean, the Broncos, and then I want them to do good. I feel bad. I feel bad that all they ever do is lose. Their 2 games that they've lost this year, they've been blowouts. All the other games, they win everything. So it's like, the Lions are honestly kind of scary, but I think they're a good team. I think it's just, you don't want to stay away from Lions players in fantasy, but Lions fans might be a little bit nervous about how the week went. I don't know. My predictions of last week. Now, this is where it gets big. I'm 10 minutes into the podcast. I'm going to give myself a pretty big shout out. My plays of last week. One of my plays of last week was Christian Kirk. Yeah, it was. It was Kirk. It was Christian Kirk. I'm freaking nice at fantasy, okay? He dropped a casual 20 points on the dot, at least in the league I'm looking at right now. Oh yeah. He's the leader in that. He's the leader on the Jags offense. Calvin Ridley move over. Christian Kirk is now the play in that offense. I like him. I'm going to continue to like him. What a call out by me. Another call out by me. A big ad of last week. Rashee Rice. And holy crap, the 1 week I shot him out, he gets his high of the season. 17 points. This guy's dogging out. This guy's becoming a staple in that offense. I like him. I really think that Rashee Rice has a legit role in that offense for the Kansas City Chiefs. I think he's going to be a dog. I think he's going to continue to dog up, and if push comes to shove, then add him. If you don't want to limit yourself. You don't want to limit yourself based on the Chiefs. I hate the Chiefs as much as anybody else. Okay. But I'm still going to add Rashee Rice because I know about fantasy and I'm real good at it. If you can't tell, that was a little bit of a distracted segment as I was looking at Rashee Rice in fantasy to see if I could add him in this league. And I can, but I don't really have anybody I would drop for him. So I'm not going to do it yet. I like how he's looking right now. Another call out, Evan Ingram, casual 9.5 points at the tight end spot. Great play. Great play if you don't have somebody like Travis Kelce, which I do. So, shout me out. The Bucs defense. Let me see how the Bucs defense... Oh, a 10-point performance. That's pretty good. Woo. For a defense that is not a top defense in the league, and I'm saying let's just start him and see what happens, guys. Woo. They did good. Jordan Love with a 20-point bomb did okay against the defense, Broncos defense that is getting better. I don't even hate the Broncos defense in fantasy anymore. 2 straight weeks of balling out. I'm feeling okay about playing them. I'm feeling okay about starting them. They're not going to be my start of the week this week, but, they're not going to be my start of the week this week. There were definitely some disappointments. Cooper Kupp, a little bit disappointing coming off a big week last week. Can only give me 6 points, but, big dog's going to do what big dog's going to do, I guess. Can't really help him, and you can't really base your team's production on him, because he's going to do what he's going to do, but he's just one guy, okay? He's just one player. He's just an Eastern Washington product, played against the MSU Bobcats. Go Bobcats. Go Cats. Rawr. So he's going to be back to his form. Don't you dang worry about him. Let's get into the ads of the week. I don't want to ramble, and I feel that time coming. I need to go home. In case, I don't know, I might have already, I can't remember if I already said why I'm going home, why I need to kind of hustle right here. Yeah, I'm going to a concert, so I need to get a move on here. So I'll have some quick ads. I'm going to look at the top players of last week and kind of base it off that. A couple guys, I've said them before, I'll say them again. Rashee Rice and Jakobi Meyers. Rashee on the Chiefs, I've talked about him. And Jakobi Meyers on the Raiders. Now, Jakobi Meyers is a bit touchdown dependent on his fantasy points, but he is the number 12 receiver in fantasy. Yeah. The Raiders have the number 12 and the number 10 receivers, and they still kind of suck. What's going on with the Raiders offense? I don't know if they can't score with those 2 receivers, if they can't put up points. But until Jakobi Meyers puts up a goose egg, doesn't get a touchdown and fails to get legit fantasy points, I'm liking him, starting him, and that's the same with Rashee Rice. Until he proves that he's not necessarily a staple of their offense, because it looks like right now, if you only watch football for a couple, days of your life, if you were just born pretending you're Jesus, right, you roll out of that manger already with a full head of hair and ready to face the world, you're thinking Rashee Rice is a staple of the offense. And so I'm thinking, unless he, until he puts up an inconsistent number, you're going to want him on your team. By the way, what happened to Bijan Robinson? What a choke that was. Holy crap. Bijan, what are you doing? Are you sick? Are you hurt? Are you like low-key an animal, a bug? Did you get stepped on your way to work and so you couldn't go into the game? I mean, come on, dude. What do you... You got the ball one time, and he's ill, and the coach doesn't want to tell us that. That's some bull crap. That's not how fantasy's meant to be played. I know the managers might not want to, tell the public that he can't play for whatever, don't want to help the other team out with their game plan. But what's more important, winning an NFL game or having fantasy players, having fantasy managers do well with a player on your roster? If I'm the Falcons head coach, I'm thinking, I care more about the general public than I care about my Falcons win, because we all know the Falcons got no freaking fans anyway. So who is he saving by getting them a win on their team? No. And do they even win? I don't even think they won anyway. Yeah, what was the point, boys? Oh my God, there was no point. Oh wait, they did win. Well, right. So I'm worrying more about the fantasy, less about the win in the future. If I'm Arthur Smith, who, by the way, is that his name? I don't know if that's their coach or who, but their owner, first name Arthur, don't know his last name, might be Smith. Anyway, I met him once at a camp. That was cool. He's a real cool guy. Home Depot, heir to Home Depot, now owns the Falcons. Cool little, he was sick, gave me a high five. I was like 7, or no, I was probably more like 10. He talked to all of us. I got to meet him. It was cool, If I was not such a diehard Bronco fan, maybe I'd think about being a Falcon fan. Think about it for like 1 second, and then I'd be like, what is the point of that? Nah, get that out of my face. I'm not being a fan of such a sorry-ass franchise. So, I'm a Bronco fan. What can I say? We did win the Super Bowl 8 years ago. I'm holding on to that like a baby holds onto a binky. Let's go. Those are a couple ads for the week. My final ad for the week, in terms of who do I think is going to be available in most leagues, and who do I think scored well and will continue to score well? Well, the first step is pulling up the Week 7 stats, which is what I'm doing right now. I'm going to help you guys out. The second step is seeing Dalton Kincaid. Big ad. The Dalton Kincaid, who has had a disappointing season in fantasy as a rookie, want a little bit more production out of him, had a 15.5 point game last week. Now that's okay. Okay, you did it once. Well, Dawson Knox, their starter, the one that's splitting, sidelined with a wrist surgery. Don't know how long that's going to take. Kincaid is coming off the best game of his career. Okay, he is a first-round tight end, and now he's gonna gain almost all of the game reps in the coming weeks. According to this stat right here, last week he's receiving over 50% of the snaps already. Last week he had 61. He was the tight end 6 last week. It was a big week for tight ends on National Tight Ends Day. Holy crap. He scored 15.5 and he's the tight end 6. That's pretty wild. But he is my ad of the week because of the situation he's going in. It's going to be sick. Mark my words. If you don't have a legit starting tight end on your roster right now and you're trying to figure out who you should add, you're thinking long and hard as you fall asleep at night, who should I add to my team? And you don't have a tight end you think about starting every single week, well, there's one, okay? I'm rifling through my fantasy leagues right now. I just found Dalton Kincaid, and I'm thinking, holy crap, this kid can ball. This kid's good. I need him on my team. I'm looking. My only problem is it's hard for me to add any players because my team's already so good at every position. Yeah, we'll find it. Here we go. We'll find it. Let me look him up. Let me look up Dalton Kincaid real quick. There's just some ads for the week. I don't know if there's any quarterbacks I'm really liking this week that you'll be able to find. I do like. Honestly, I don't hate the Texans this week going up against the Panthers. I don't hate their defense, even though their defense is not necessarily amazing. I think they'll be good. And I really like, I'm not even minding starting C.J. Stroud. He's had a good fantasy season going up against a historically bad Panthers defense. Could be a little bit of a play there. Players like Tank Dell and Dameon Pierce as well. The Texans are a sneaky team to watch, okay? I'm not going to cap at you guys. Okay, I'm adding Dalton Kincaid right now. I was able to just beat my way around the bush long enough to find him on my team. Now, if only I could figure out how to add him. Okay, Michael Gallup, you're done. You're done, buddy. You are the 72nd ranked receiver in fantasy. Goodbye, Dalton Kincaid. Come to Papa. Confirmed. Waiver submitted. Yeah, this is another thing about Monday episodes. Coach Croy, I'm calling you out here. You were the one to talk to me about it. I need to get the Monday episodes up before the waiver wire opens on Wednesday morning. And Coach Gabe was giving me a little listen before the waiver wires open, so I appreciate that. That's going to kind of wrap up our weekly ads, our weekly starts. I like Texans this week. I like Rashee Rice and Christian Kirk and Jacoby Myers, the top three, until they start to drop in production. I like all three of them. I like Dalton Kincaid as a tight end this week. I think he's going to play well. I like the Broncos kicker, Will Lutz. First of all, he's a beast of a kicker, and I actually am a kicker. I do kick the balls every once in a while. All the balls. Every ball, I see it. See ball, kick ball is my kind of philosophy in life. Anyway, so I know how to scout good kicker talent when I see it. And Will Lutz on an inconsistent Broncos offense that knows how to get yards but doesn't really know how to get points, unfortunately. Well, that's a lot of kicks for him, so I'm liking that. Running backs, I don't really have a standout in my mind right now in terms of something you should add. I added this week, D'Onta Foreman. That'll be the last big mention I give. In terms of points last week. 33 points in fantasy did D'Onta Foreman of the Chicago Bears score against the Raiders. Sorry, Coach Chandler. Yeah, Raiders. More like losers. And a big part of that was because of D'Onta Foreman. How are you guys not going to stop that? 33 points. I like him. I added him in a league that it's kind of a lot of depth, and I'm looking for some running back depth. Could be really inconsistent. Don't know if I want to start him this week, but he'll be available in a lot of leagues. Now, he's not necessarily going up against the Raiders defense, who honestly, they've had their ups and downs this season. It'll be interesting to see who's playing the Raiders this week. You could take a look at who's playing the Raiders as well, because I'm trying to wrap up the episode, so I'm not going to do that. I'm sorry. And look at running backs and look at receivers there. You know what? Fine, I'm going to do that while I finish rambling, because I'm actually interested in that. They've had a little bit of trouble corralling some receivers. The Raiders aren't even that bad. The Raiders, I feel like, should win more than they do. And part of that is on their defense being just inconsistent. They're gonna play the Lions next week. I'm seeing some bounce back. The Raiders are actually the number 31 defense in fantasy right now. Yeah, they don't do a lot for you. They are scoring 4.29 fantasy points per game. Yeah, ouch. I like a bounce back week from the Lions. I really like Jahmyr Gibbs. Okay, he's my last call out. I had D'Onta Foreman, kind of a deep start. Jahmyr Gibbs, a guy on the Lions that has not got the loves he needed this year, especially I think he was top 10 or 15 pick in last year's draft. Hasn't really got the carries. Finally got me like 22 points in a league. Yep, good start. So I like him against the Raiders. I like some other Vikings. Maybe Jared Goff, a little bit of bounce back week, was disappointing in some leagues. But those are kind of my guys, right? I got a couple of those sneaky running backs, some consistent receivers, Texans quarterback. We have a Texans defense as well. Dalton Kincaid at tight end. Those are your weekly ads. What if I can just clip that little segment and like save it and like post it on like Instagram or something? That'll be low key fire. I might do that. Check the Instagram at the Fantasy Avenue what's it called? At the Fantasy Avenue Podcast, I believe is what my Instagram's called. Yeah, dude. That's about all we got. I got the weekly ads. I got the big hitters. I got some people coming on next week for show, because it's got to happen soon. Got to talk about the draft and Finn, football season. I mean, it's the playoff time in Gallatin football. Yeah, we won 58-0, mind you. Freaking heck to the yeah, Raptors. Our team is nice. Our defense is tough. We have depth. That's the biggest thing I just see. I look around and I say, holy crap. there's so many people that can play, It's just a matter of time. I mean, injuries happen at anything. It's a matter of time before some injuries happen, but there is depth everywhere. And I think there'll be depth next year as well, hopefully. But this year, our team has some major depth and a defense that just goes demon mode. 58-0 was our last game, so hey, go Raptors. But with the playoff season upon us, Finn, you're going to get in the podcast soon. We're going to be done with football soon. We're going to have some more free time in our hands. You'll get in. We'll get some people. We'll get some good vibes. 25-minute podcast. By the time I edit the intro and outro in, it was a great time to be alive. Hope to see y'all, I hope that you guys hear me next week, because I can't see you. That'd be silly. I'm in a room by myself right now. So I hope you guys hear me next week. Talk to you later. Peace.